Okay, we'll be honest. We just recorded a full 30 minutes, which was freaking awesome. We're going to have to go back there again. I think it's going to even be better. Maybe more concise, who knows?
Round 2.
Now we got technology and the universe is definitely testing us. So we've got Dwaine back on the channel. We've just shared an incredible, that was really amazing. But you know what, I remember a lot of that because it was very, we've been through it so many times. So I want to share Dwaine's story. If you want to see his full story of his whole experience of how he came to Thailand, because he's currently with us now in Thailand, Phuket, that's on I'll put that link in the description box, but we'll just see where Dwaine is now, because he's come and done 26 days of juice cleansing, and then he's going to go down to the south of Phuket and do some Mai Tai training, and then he may come back to do another cleanse. So we're going to discuss how that's gone for him, the lessons he's learned, and you shared so much invaluable information there but we went through the emotional aspect of what you would go through on a juice cleanse, the physical aspect, and where you was not wanting to weigh. You've had a revelation. I feel this is what happens when you go on a juice cleanse. Like, you get so many, because initially when Dwaine came to me, he was all for weighing himself, and it's a good to get a picture of knowing, where you're at and where you want to be. But it can get too attached to it. So you're now of letting that go, letting it be, and just going with it daily moments and being more in tune. And this is why detox, or why going on a juice cleanse, is so imperative for our health, mental health, not just our physical well-being. But the juice cleanse was a calling for you, because we were transitioning slowly with more fruits over a few weeks, and then you went into the juice cleanse, and you already shared that it was not too heavy. You went through some emotional processing, and you went through some physical. And the physical, could you just share again with your physical?
Yeah, absolutely. So leading up to deciding to do the juice fast with you and I had a conversation, and you said, Dwaine, I really think you want to consider doing a detox before you go and you do intense training. And I thought to myself, yeah, that sounds good, but I'm going to go and do the training anyways, because it's what you've always been told, right? You work out hard, you eat clean.
No pain, no gain.
Right. You eat clean, and the weight's just going to fly off to you. But what was happening for me was my body it felt like it was breaking down, in the sense that the workouts were difficult, and I went from being completely sedentary to fast forward 6 days a week, 2 times a day training, right? So my body is like, it held up good for like 2, 3, 4 weeks, right? It held up good is like an understatement. And then it just felt like I was hitting, like the workouts were extremely hard. I was burnt out. I felt like I was sore all the time. And then, unfortunately, I wasn't seeing any movement on the scale for like 2 or 3 weeks. Now, I don't know of any people out there, but try working out intensely hard and dieting, or what you perceive to be dieting, and not seeing any movement on the scale when that's your primary goal. And it ruined me, because I was just like, this is not working. And so what I felt starting to set in was all the things that I struggle with, that I put at bay in my mind. And it's, will this work? Is this sustainable? And then emotionally feeling yourself dealing with cravings throughout this time process, realizing that there's still this deep-seated attachment to food. So I said, I heard Toni's voice kind of come on in my mind, sort of a light bulb, and I was like, you know what? That's when I messaged you, and I was like, hey, I think I'm ready to move forward and really get serious about doing this juice cleanse. It felt like this is definitely what I have to do. And the rest is history. Came and
to
now
reset. It's resetting the gut, resetting the mind, having that break of just a full reset. And going longer would be beneficial, but it was a great opportunity to experience and you've got so many benefits just in this 26 days. So you did incredible. Now you're going to go and do some training and then see how you feel, see how your body is. You're much lighter. You definitely lost weight. I think you've said 30 kilograms, I think, since being here in a couple of months. Yeah. So already you're seeing that you're lighter, you're feeling lighter, you're much more solid in your reactions, in how you, because this is the key, and which we already shared in the last one, is how it's what we do when we're under stress. You know, it's easy doing the juice cleanse. I know for some it can be challenging, especially if it's your first ever one, but you already have a protocol. We do a set protocol in a set way. You've even said you've done other juice cleanses. I've done the same, where they haven't been enjoyable. I do one that's enjoyable, but it does the job. It does the work. It's fruit juices, but astringent juices, and we use the lemon ginger blast because it really pulls. There's a set protocol that you followed, and then going into much more of the transitional period, which it's the hardest part.
That's hard,
which you've already said, you can sense that already. You can go into these friends. Breaking the fast is the most challenging, and it has been for me, and I shared that I did not even break my fast in what I would teach. It takes some time, and I know I'll be ready to do it again at some point, because cleansing and healing can be part of your lifestyle. It's just when it's becoming where they get stigma, where you're yo-yoing. If you know you're improving, you know, it's a great tool to have. Some recommend, and I have shared at times, like, do it one time only. Yes and no. It's yes, get the long stint out, you know, get that done at some point in your journey. Do that, and then incorporate these little mini cleanses. I think they're really healing. They're very nurturing to our body. Injection of those vitamins and minerals and enzymes. It is just a flooding of the body of these of the goodness, and you feel it in the light codes that come in, and then you connect to more of the divine. Your downloads are stronger, and that's what you did experience. So I'm going to let you share of the physical, how you experienced that and how you processed it as well.
Yeah, definitely.
So share what you went through and how you dealt with it, and then even the emotional and the spiritual side. You know, there's that connection that comes in very strong. For me, it did, and I see for others.
I think juice fasting could be the most transformative time for someone. For me, it had a lot to do with the environment as well. As you know, I had a family member that was ill, and I felt like there was a lot of pressure on me, and it just felt like I needed to do something that would bring me back to my center. One of the things that you did for me that I appreciate was we sat down and we talked about it. We got a journal, you know, which I used some days, not every day, and then I literally sat outside and would do some breath work, which was difficult for me at first, because I kind of felt like it was kind of corny, and I was thinking, you know, I'm really out here just doing deep breaths. But as the juice fast progressed, aside from some of the physical discomforts, which is just, I guess, rehydrating the gut and just feeling my body actually allowing my digestive tract to clean itself, some of the other things that I experienced was, you know, mild headaches. You know, once or twice I had slight nausea when I drank too much juice. But then I've definitely had some emotional releases as well, where I had, you know, a handful of times where I was sitting or was at peace, or, you know, watching something enjoyable, and just kind of had an emotional release. And I thought, wow, that was kind of interesting. And it really wasn't motivated by anything. And I found that to be very interesting. But having had that conversation with you and preparing for what was possible, I was like, wow, I guess I just need to sit with this and kind of just allow it to be. You know what I mean? And that was an interesting experience for me. Moving forward, the juice fast, I kind of hit a stride, and it was more or less just trying to fill my day with things that would allow me to remain engaged and not bored. I'm being honest. So the walking with you in the morning was exciting, because we got to see how, like I wasn't sweating as much or perspiring, because Thailand is very humid. But one of the conversations we had was the fact that as you become cleaner and stuff like that, your body is not pushing toxins or doesn't have the toxic load.
It's not as hard, bearing,
perspiring and sweating is not as necessary. And, going on walks that once we had done it before, I was drenched.
Yeah.
And then seeing just in 2-3 short weeks how that was a different experience and how I was able to get deeper breaths, because shortness of breath was a challenge, right? Feeling like I couldn't catch my breath. Also, my limbs. When I say limbs, I mean like my wrists and stuff. For those people who struggle with weight, who may be a little bit overweight, you may find sometimes that your ankles and your extremities, your knees, sometimes may feel a little bit inflamed or swollen. I could physically, noticeably see my ankles and my wrists and some other things that were just, I would say about that 10 to 14 day mark in the juice cleanse were just, I woke up, I was like, wow, I feel lighter, so it's just hard to ignore the facts when you're experiencing them, When you hear about these things, you're thinking, okay, that sounds good.
Yeah.
But when you experience them, it's just hard to ignore.
It really is.
So
this is it. It's when you're going through it yourself and truly feel it. And that's why I said to others, just do it to see it might not be all plain sailing, and there will be, and that's why a coach helps. And it is it can be challenging. For me, it was more the emotional aspects for me, not even the physical. I'd go through the headaches, and the breath work really helped, and just resting and trying to not resist, because a lot of it's down to resistance, of what letting go, like you were saying, you're shedding an old identity as well, coming into a new self, and it's scary for some people. Did any of that come up? Obviously a lot of excitement, but also a bit of fear.
Definitely. For me, being that I've this kind of back and forth with weight and weight management for me has been, never known a time that my weight was not always what I believe people saw first. You know what I mean? Or it wasn't something that I battled with. And so, having done things before, but if I'm quite honest, it was either operating out of, not enough information, or not really taking a step back and assessing how I'm really approaching something. I think what's different about this time, although there's this fear, I was talking to you about like the voice that was in my head when I first started this journey saying, hey, you've been here before. What's different about this time? Are you going to go 3, 4, 5 months, get to a weight that you feel satisfied, and then what? Do you revert to your old ways of eating and your lifestyle, being sedentary? And there's definitely that fear there. But what was once like this loud voice, as the journey has been going on and eating more raw foods, doing my juicing and sticking to the regimen, it's more of a whisper now. And
it's lighter.
It was like you're saying, it's almost like a gentle reminder for me. Maybe I'll always have that voice there as kind of like my beacon, my internal compass.
To not get too comfortable.
Exactly.
Which I think reinforces
essential.
Why we do, because we can easily get into, I was saying, life out there is not doing the work. Life out there is all about distractions and stimulating, and it's all set up for us really not to be as vibrant, as healthy that we want to be. It's not. And once we accept that, the power is in that. And knowing, okay, I'm out in that world. You're not going in to fight the world, but you're knowing that there's a lot of things that's going to try and encourage me to not be healthy, to be sick, so you can be in the system. So the difference, what you have now is this mind, like you said, it's cliche, but it's so powerful. It's the mindfulness.
Yeah, definitely.
The connection to your body and your mind together that's the difference. Because when you do choose something that isn't maybe as in your protocol or as healthy as you'd like to be, you're okay with it because you've chosen it. It's intentional. And there is a difference. There's not the unconsciousness to it. You're a conscious soul now, being more present than ever. That will never leave you if you keep doing the work. It's like brushing your teeth every day, taking a bath. okay, reminders of my day, of being in the moment, being present. What am I choosing today? How am I responding? And that, if you can master that, work through that, that's where the power is, the true self-mastery. And you've got that. And this is what really raw foods do for us, because it doesn't numb us, doesn't distract us. That's why it's hard for some people emotionally. That's why I was really, really curious to know your emotional level, because
it was easy to do it in an environment where
he is a very supportive, it's 100%. Quiet.
I would say that's the hardest thing for me. Everyone's different. Some people they go cold turkey, probably a better word. We could say cold cucumbers, I don't know. You know what I mean? But they're able to just rip the Band-Aid off and dive head first into the raw vegan thing. I don't know why I've always felt like I wanted a community. I wanted people who really, mastered this thing, because you're recognizing that you are shifting your lifestyle, period.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This is not something you're gonna do. I mean, you can, but you're gonna find that it's just not gonna be fulfilling. You're not gonna get what you want out of it by just doing it for a couple of weeks or months and reverting back. It's gonna have to be a transition, all or nothing mentality.
It doesn't, and I told you this at the beginning. Everyone comes to me, everyone. I'm just watching him because I do it, and I've been there. I've done it all and of it loads. All my 20s was all heavy, just quick fixes, and we still want that. We always think that is sometimes the way, but it really is the patience and just. Okay, you can have these goals and aspirations. I want to do that and jump straight. Even with the cleanse, your mind, there will be, and you've got to be honest, totally honest with yourself. There will be a little bit of, why didn't I go the long way? It doesn't matter. You've done this far. Yeah. You've gone this far. It's incredible. Yeah. You can always say, I could have done this, could have done that. You've done it. You've done it more. You've done more than your last one, and that was another. You wanted to push through a bit longer, and it's part of what you've discovered because you've been intentional. It's transformative. It's transformative. So you'll never ever go backwards to that level because of this like I say, keep the consciousness there. If we can move through life with consciousness, then
as good as I feel right now, I just don't want to. I know people won't believe when I say this. You'll think Toni told me off camera to say it, but you don't know how bad you feel until you feel good. And it's otherworldly is the best way I could put it, because the fact that you are numbing yourself, whether through ignorance, meaning you don't know that you're doing it because we're not educated, and they have no benefit from us learning how to heal ourselves. Nobody wins in corporate agriculture and the industries that run the world, and it's not a political thing, but when you understand that you could walk into a grocery store and all the things you'll ever need is in the produce section, and the rest of the grocery store is really don't need it. It's insane.
It is. Package, if that's the first thing you can get away from, is package, the oils, getting rid of those cooked oils. That's a move in the right direction. Some look at me saying all the fruit that I eat. I'm always, when I'm out and about, I'm always forever eating fruits. That's what I snack on. It's my quick food. But I know not everybody's. It is, and I give it that. But there was a big transition for me. I was in Thailand, and I still wasn't eating that well when I first came here. I was eating a lot of the vegan street foods, and I was always exhausted. And it took a long time to actually, this is enough. But I knew it was part of the process. I never committed to. I didn't even have it in my head. Like even you, I hear you saying never fully. I was never for years, 6 years. I'm going fully raw. No way.
It seems crazy when you talk.
Crazy.
Yeah, it does. I know.
Now it's like this is the only way. I'm like, when I eat some cooked here and there, I'm like,
it robs you of your energy because
it does.
As I was, one thing, now that I'm in the transition phase for the period of juicing that we're doing, and I'm preparing to go back to train again, I wanted to reintroduce some solid foods, predominantly high fruit, but I had a few cooked meals and I noticed the difference. You know, yes, they were like borderline raw, and they're vegetables.
But subtle, it's
yeah.
And that's where you also mentally the frenzies can kick in, because you've just cleansed. You've got a new population of these wanting the whole cleaner foods, the raw foods, and then now you're getting these parasites back in slowly, and then it kind of, that's where the junk foods, because I was saying earlier in the last one is the residues. We'll always have these residues in us, just like an alcoholic will always have those residues that's why they can't have alcohol at all. And I am on the thinking now, once you go raw, you can never really go back to cooked unless it's
challenging.
Really, because you're going to just keep suffering. Yeah, you're going to suffer. So even I'm not quite there yet. I still have my cravings. But we are in a world, like I said, it's constantly out there. Even alcohol is so challenging for people, but I would say the biggest drug is the cooked food.
100%.
It really is. It's so controversial, I didn't realise, but until you've come off cooked food, how addictive it is and how it's so socially acceptable, and you are seen as strange, and you're like, wow, these are addicts everywhere. I even look at people with the coffee addicts, they're standing there, I'm like, that's their fix, they're getting the fix, we're fixing everywhere.
Because I can actively, consciously agree with you. Internally, I'm like, I don't know if I can give up the cooked foods.
I know. That's an addiction, but as long as you're aware, and I knew it, and I still know it, but it's there. That's how so strong it is. But it's okay, it's not like it's not. I mean, you could. It is destroying it. It's just we're not
denaturing
it. We're denaturing it. It's but you're on the path of love and compassion and understanding.
100%.
And that's the focus.
That's
the difference. And it's okay, because the more you naturally, if you keep on this path, you keep learning and discovering, and some people I see fall off and go back, and they always seem to return. If you return back to who you are, your heart, and why we're truly here and what to experience, and it is vibrancy and love and compassion, you will always go down on this path. So it's never.
That's what I've released and relinquished now. Like I said, the attachment to a number on the scale for me, and this is recent, is something I can say I can forego this right now, because my attachment is to my health and my lifestyle of pursuing my health. So whatever the outcome is in the next couple of weeks and months, what I am certain of is that by continuing on this path, the results speak for itself. By continuing this, I will continue to become more and more healthy. The byproduct of that would be a healthy weight. Byproduct of that is strength. And I mean, Toni is raw vegan now for a few years, and one of the fittest person. What you said you are, what is it, 2% body fat now?
No, 14.5, but any lower than 14 for a female at my age is classed as you start to lose your period. So I'm in the healthy range.
100%. So, my perception is just keep going on it. I'm going to be, mindful, intentional, and a little bit of grace there too, sprinkled on top. So I just realized that.
And humility, a little humility there. Love, and all about loving. It's okay. Like I said, if anyone could take away anything from this, is taking away as long as I'm choosing what I'm doing, gives you that power. Okay, I have a choice in this. I'm not in this survival drift where everyone, and you kind of not knowing, you're doing things unconsciously. You've got this conscious awareness that's going to elude. It just, it goes into all areas of your life. Choose your heart, because tell you what, choosing healthy is hard at first, or may feel hard, but in the long term, like now for me, like you just see me naturally getting up, walk the dogs around the dam, that's an hour around there, and for some people it's a right struggle. It's nothing to me. It's like a walk, a little, and I forget that because I'm so in it, and this is the difference, and then I go to the gym and I'm like, it's easy for me. And there will be times I don't feel like it, but I go anyway. My mind is so focused on these and my rituals that serve me, choose my heart. And I always, when I learned that, choose the hard, I know it becomes easier. So choosing the binging, choosing those destructive behaviors, the foods, you know, that's hard long term. That's 100%. Where it's going to stop you from being as agile, as fluid, and it comes with such a cost.
And we're all aging too, aren't we? So
we're not getting any younger. I feel like I'm though, in a sense, because of the raw food. I'm more fit, vibrant than I was in my 20s.
See?
So, I'm getting older, but we're getting younger if you choose the foods that are going to replenish and nourish the cells and the tissues. You know, if we can really focus on the food is there to nourish and love us, with enjoyment. Like at first it might not, like you were saying, that bear meat salad, what I always used to eat, he couldn't understand. And I was that thinking years ago, like a salad? Why are you getting so excited over a salad? And I'm like, even like pineapple juice or a smoothie bowl.
But it's
like,
so good though.
They're so good. And you can change, like this, like we always got to remind ourselves the transition period. So you do need to replacing, learning to, okay, I can have that as a raw vegan that is tastes and looks just as good as that other food, but not unhealthy. You know, even like when I was doing the raw until dinner, I was having my cooked meals. On the night times, I was having all these mock meats, smashing them in because it was my cooked meal. But then I would start, okay, I'm going to have half a plate of salad. Or I'm going to have less of the mocks and more of the good stuff, and then just over time just filled more and more, and that's when I went into the more raw days. So it's exciting for you, and it's a journey of, and people are seeing, because you're right in it, which is amazing. And I know everyone wants to see there's never really a finish, but we can clear, you know, when it's more, you can, for yours it's very easy, the visual, but also if you can talk about this journey that your processes that you're going through, it really inspires people. You know, it's me sat here doesn't always, I mean, I can share my stories, but people are like, really? They always think I've been like this. But my friends, Phil, who I've got here staying with us, he knows me as Binge eater, and I was training excessively 2, 3, 4 hours at the gym because I'd just eaten a full white chocolate cake. And I've been some really unhealthy paths, you know, so.
And I used to think that it was only people who struggled with their weight that had issues with this.
I know.
But I have friends that most would consider healthy because of the physical appearance. And a lot of them are like, man, I just ate like, you know, a whole pint of ice cream. And the guilt that they feel and hearing that connection, realizing that everybody struggles with this is...
I said to you, it's everywhere. The drug is real. That's what we've got to know, that it's real. And it's you've got parasites in you. I mean, I know there's some, like I interviewed, was it Ted Carr? He was saying, I don't even entertain those thoughts. So whatever serves you. For me, it served me knowing when I am uncontrollable, okay, it's not just, it is the parasites, what it could crying out basically. But I was aware of that and I took control. But now it is going into the process like that doesn't have to be my story. Like I can choose. And just looking at different mental constructs, you know, mental like even using affirmations to really help you change perspective on what you're doing. And it ain't gonna happen overnight. And it's fun. Enjoy it, because look what you're doing.
I mean, you can't really. There's not many places you could go to in the world that's going to be as nice as Phuket, Thailand, to do this. So I'm grateful that I've had the opportunity to come here and connect with Toni and be in this environment. And I'm definitely going to take advantage of it. So I think the best is yet to come.
It made it happen. Sure. It's all you. All you that's done it. No one else can do it. You know, you've got to take the action, even when it's not comfortable. You've got to do it. And you've come so far. Incredible. Even I can see your minds like I say, the shifts in just saying the all or nothing, or okay, I'm ready. And there'll be lots more shifts. We're always ever changing and growing, and what works now might not work later. You've got to be explorative with that. Okay, so the next step for you then, Dwaine, is going in to do some Muay Thai training.
Yep.
Over the Christmas period.
Yeah.
And enjoying the raw foods, because down in the south of Phuket, there's a lot of delicious raw food joints, and they're really clean. A lot of them are really good. So
a lot of smoothie bowls.
Smoothies.
And just keeping it simple, sticking with the grapes.
He loves the grapes, the muscat grapes.
The grapes are probably
That's
my
the only
favorite.
thing that you was like craving.
Yeah.
You broke the fast. He's like, is it all right eating these grapes? I'm like, smash those grapes in.
Oh, man.
They're actually the best. So if you're going to go into, when you're going back to solids after your juice cleanse, grapes. And he's like, that's all I'm craving.
I'll eat like 2 or 3 pounds of those things. Not a problem. So that, and some watermelons, and the banana. Since I'm training, I'm going to be doing banana and mangoes every day.
Yeah.
So I get a little bit more substance, because I feel like
definitely.
if I do 5-6 bananas a day and maybe 2 to 4 mangoes a day, and still doing some juices, still getting 32 ounces of coconut water fresh from the coconut. Yeah, my days would be pretty good. And maybe I might have a Burmese salad at the end of the day.
Oh, yeah, you got to have that first one with me. It's got to be with me so you can try it.
100%.
Burmese salad with the tea leaves.
Yeah.
Exciting. I'm really excited for you, because
100%.
you're ready to get, like I said, there's phases of this. There's the detox when we don't really want to be focused on building. It's a separate phase in itself. Now you're in the building.
I'm
and
really
I would
excited
say you
to
are
see.
in the building phase, because a lot of habits you've changed and you've overcome, and you'll continue to process them, and it's a good time.
Yeah. I'm excited to see how my body will respond now that I've given it almost a month of break and cleansing and nourishment, the green juices, and everything like that. So
keep on with the green juices as well. I'll be bringing you some down. Exciting time. So we'll bring Dwaine back on and early next year, and see where he's at there. And exciting times. Thank you, Dwaine.
Appreciate it.
Really appreciate it. And we always end with the be, feel, and stay Rawlicious. Are you ready?
Let's do it.
Be,
Feel,
stay
Rawlicious.
Rawlicious.